тебя. Слышно, Артем?
Artyom, repeat, please.
Да, сейчас снимай, как снимать кожухи, и после
You
этого
remove the
всю
shroud.
на F-образных поручнях заснять надо.
And then please take a video of everything around the F-shaped handrails.
Ты в этот момент убирай в УКП.
And Dima, you'll be working on UKP at that time. Understood. Will do. Now working on the wire ties.
The two cosmonauts checking out the protective shrouds around the newly installed stanchion for telemetry equipment on the Zvezda service module.
Removing the shroud now on my side. I got it. Removing shroud number 2. Yes, I can see.
Далеко не отворачивайся, сейчас, наверное, может сразу два их скрутить.
Do not move it too far away. Maybe we can just tie them together. And put in UKP.
Ты можешь, пожалуйста, с разных ракурсов немножко снять вот эти F-образные поручни?
Please take a video of
И можно
the F-shaped handrails and around them, and also KPU along plane 1. Some video, please.
Так, есть.
I got it.
Вторую заберешь? Да?
Will you take the second one? Yes.
Угу. Взял. Расфиксировался.
Okay, this is released.
У иллюминатора. Чем?
Andrei may be looking at us right now. We're by the window. Both routes are on OKP.
Поможешь, пожалуйста, свою ЕР проверить?
Can you please check your ERCA?
Дим, тебе...
Dima, that's for you. Can you please check your ERCA? ERCA or HECA? ERCA. Okay, checking my ERCA. The LED is not illuminated. Would you like for me to turn it on? Yes, please. It doesn't seem to be turning on.
Ну, по вашей готовности мы можем приступать к переходу ГЗУ по первой плоскости.
On your go, you may proceed to the plume deflectors, GZU.
Потом не стали оставлять. Так что можно приступать к переходу.
I think this is a logical way for you to proceed now with the translation to impact and plume deflectors, GZU.
Сергей, гермоконтейнер наблюдаю на тебе, а крышка защитная...
Sergey, we can see the airtight container. But where is the cover? The cover is inside the airtight container still, because it was supposed to be separate.
Это...
Copy.
Approaching the 3.5-hour mark in today's spacewalk, the International Space Station, flying over Vancouver, British Columbia, moving from northwest to southeast on a pass that will take the complex and the Expedition 69 crew across the heartland of America. The two cosmonauts have completed the installation of protective shrouds along a stanchion that telemetry equipment will be installed on, and now will make their way back to the aft end of the service module to take pictures of plume deflectors on the thrusters of the Zvezda service module, as well as to remove a tray of experiments from what is called the impact experiment, that has measured over a number of years the number of impacts from micrometeoroid debris particles and what effect engineering-wise they may have had on the structure of the International Space Station.
There was a short LOS. No, I was saying, when we secure the impact to
около ГЗУ, так чтобы
the edge
минимально
of
в той зоне находиться.
the SM aft.
Вот я так же и делаю, да.
The head was closer to the plume deflector, GZU.
Принято.
I think this is how I will do it also. Copy.
Ноги у меня уже со стороны корабля.
My feet are on the side of the vehicle.
Так, а на торце у нас здесь поручней нет никаких, да?
And there are no handrails on the edge, correct?
27-13 наблюдаю.
Oh, I can see handrail 2713. Copy.
Работаю с импактом тогда.
Okay, I will start working on the
Дима, а ты
impact
тогда занимайся
hardware.
обстановки вокруг ГЗУ и
And you can take a video around
агрегатного отсека.
the plume
Можно к
deflectors
ним приступать.
Да, принято.
and around SM aft. So you may start on that. Copy. Will do.
Выглядит как плохо помытая сковородка, конечно.
It looks like a dirty frying pan.
Давно не мыто.
Well, it hasn't been washed for quite some time.
Принято.
Somebody made some good fries in it.
Достал защитную крышку от импакта. Готовлюсь.
Well, I retrieved the protective cover that belongs to the impact hardware. Yes, so we copy.
Завел.
Да, надевай на планшет.
Okay, you can attach the hook to the tray.
Секунду.
Stand by.
Так, надеваю.
I'm attaching.
Дим, сюжеты, я напомню, нам нужно
Dima,
ближние ракурсы ГЗУ,
we need the plume deflector,
обоих ГЗУ, и по пингажу, и,
both of them,
соответственно, по крену.
following the roll direction, and on the lower part of plume deflectors first.
Был короткий перерыв связи.
We had a short break in comm.
Да.
Yes, indeed. We understand.
Да, по поводу сюжетов, да, ГЗУ, причем с двух сторон желательно. Ну, может быть, если ты сейчас с той стороны...
So the plume deflectors, please
Дальше идет...
try to take video from both sides.
Сергей, ты подснимешь тогда. А также...
3 hours, 34 minutes into today's spacewalk, Prokopiev and Patelin have made their way to the aft end of the Zvezda service module, where they will conduct photographic documentation of these plume deflectors for the thrusters on Zvezda that have been operating now for more than 2 decades as the centerpiece for the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Inaudible numbers.
без сюжета.
For SM aft video script directions.
Sergey, and now, before you're going to be removing the container, could you please secure it with the adjustable and leave the red on the cover? Okay, sounds good.
After conducting their photographic documentation of these plume deflectors on the thrusters of the Zvezda service module, the two cosmonauts will be removing one tray of experiments from what is called the impact space experiment that has measured micrometeoroid debris hits on the Russian segment of the station for a number of years. They will also be removing one of the containers from what is known as the SKK, or cassette container, from the service module that has contained material science samples collecting data over a number of years. They will also be taking photos of the antenna boom upon which the Lyra high data rate antenna is attached at the very aft of the service module, near the docking port to which the ISS Progress 83 cargo ship is attached.
Right. You follow these circular handrails. And when you're there, that's when you can look at the SM aft. Well, I tried, but not with much success. And you can, unintelligible, secure it there. Artyom, it is secured. Okay? Okay, got it. Removed it. Removed the impact payload. Okay, now you can start translating to SKK. Okay?
Running about an hour ahead of the timeline, the cosmonauts have removed one of the sample trays from the impact space experiment. Now we'll move along to do the same for a cassette container from a material science experiment that is located nearby.
All right, stand by a second.
Так, может она поснимать?
All right, maybe I should take a few images here in this location. Yes, Sergey, if you can, from this direction.
Внимательно, я понимаю, там...
Just be a little bit more attentive to the plume deflectors.
Я понимаю, но...
Я тоже, да, понимаю, просто, такая зона напряженная.
I understand. Yes, we get it. It's not a very easy area to work.
Ее прям несет.
It's kind of moving. Sergey?
Получается, где-то в районе СКК, да,
So, you are somewhere around SKK cassette container, right?
Вот, наблюдаем.
Yes, okay, now we see the target, and right after the target, that's where you want to be.
Но за мишень нельзя браться.
Please don't touch the target, though, just like at all, do not touch it.
Посмотрю, где мне лучше пройти.
Well, I'm looking for the best path here.
Принято, не торопись, место сложное.
Well, no rush here. We know it's a complex and challenging area to work in.
Так, я зашел за антенну.
All right, I am behind the antenna.
Принято.
Copy.
За антенну, за мишень.
Okay, it's behind the target. And I see impact experiment
Сейчас у меня
and SKK container. Okay, I got caught a little bit here. We see SKK cassettes. So be very careful. Do not try not to touch the progress vehicle. Copy.
The two cosmonauts are carefully making their way at the aft end of the Zvezda service module, to which the ISS Progress 83 cargo ship is docked, as they traverse toward a package of experiments, of material science experiments that have been exposed to the elements of low Earth orbit for a number of years. There is a good view of that Progress cargo vehicle. That particular Progress is scheduled to depart the International Space Station in about 2 months, having completed its supply mission to the complex.
Dmitry, how do you copy? We're here. Copy. So for SKK, Sergey, will you be able to work there? I haven't gotten that far yet. Copy. So I have a suggestion. It's not so. You have 19 minutes till orbital night. So, and one of your translation paths is not going to leave you much time. So, Icon will be first. And maybe you can translate a little bit further. And then you will be able to start the imagery and the rotation. And if possible, please do not touch neither the target nor the antenna with your hands. Okay. And Sergey, about SKK, what do you think? Will you be able to work with the cassette holder without touching the Progress? Well, I'm pretty much in front of it, and I'm not touching anything. So then that's good news. Let's work with it. And do you want us to work with Econ? No, with correction. Do you want us to work with unintelligible? No, you will continue working with the SKK cassette container.
And that reference to the SKK experiment container is to the material science experiment that is housed on the exterior of the Zvezda service module that will be removed with its investigations having been completed.
Sergey, you can start your operations with SKK. And we see that you are securing it already. And my red goes to SKK. And the part that stays all right, I freed up. And I am opening the clip, and now I'm taking the tablet platform.
The cosmonauts are now in the process of removing the sample tray from the SKK experiment, this cassette container of material science investigations.
Position. And for the pressurized container, you need to make sure that the wire tie frame is in correct position, and then you will have to take out the internal part and then remove the safety. Copy. All right, the top part is free. Right, there is no handrail to follow easily there. And Dima, what's the distance? I see it. I either have to hop over Sergey. Is he secured? I am secured. I can, let me just like move a little bit back and forth, and I can get over you. All right, the opening is closed. Well, I am nearby. I am done. So, Artyom, do you want me to secure? To secure the internal and close out the internal circumference? Yes. And then following the handrails, move towards the boom. Well, I positioned myself around ONA antenna boom. Well, what's the distance to it? Unintelligible. Perform visual inspection of if there are any FOD items, any loose wire ties or anything. Well, it's really hard to tell right now. We need to stand by till we get out, like, because right now I have the sun hitting me straight in the face.
Ну, тогда включайте глиссеры.
All right, then turn on your glister cameras once you're ready.
Начинаем видеосъемку.
And start video recording, and once you do that, we will start the rotation.
Я еще не готов.
I'm not ready yet.
The two cosmonauts are in the process of wrapping up the removal of a tray of experiments from the impact and material science experiment containers. That's all complete. They're in the process of continuing to take photos of the aft end of the Zvezda service module and are about to take photos of the interface of a boom that holds the Lyra antenna, the high data rate and high telemetry television antenna at the aft end of the Zvezda service module. As we approach the 4-hour mark in the spacewalk, the crew continuing to run about an hour ahead of the timeline.
And please take pictures and video on from as many angles as possible, and then you start the rotation and record how the rotation is happening. Okay, are you ready? I am. Me too. And when the rotation starts, make sure you are holding as tight and without any extra movement as possible. Rotation is about to start. We are ready. Sergey, what about FOD items or any loose items? Have you inspected it as well? We have, and we confirm that rotation has started. We're asking because, and we're asking about FOD or any loose items, anything strange there, because Dima said that he could not see it clearly because of the sun. Well, are you seeing anything strange? No, not as of right now, and the rotation is very smooth. Copy. All right. PT is 4 hours exact sharp. Okay. Well, if we spend another 3 hours just cleaning the windows, that's gonna be just fine. All right, the rotation continues. Copy.
У нас наступит тень.
Да, вот у меня уже тут тень от корабля.
So 6 minutes till orbital night. Copy. And I see that the shadow of the progress vehicle is increasing, so we are ready.
У нас начнется вращение в обратную сторону.
All right, the rotation in the other direction is about to start. Oh, we see that.
Принято.
Copy.
Пойдет в обратную, да.
And it's about to start moving.
Есть вращение.
We confirm rotation.
Принято.
Copy.
Just over 4 hours into the spacewalk by Prokopiev and Patelin, the cosmonauts taking high-resolution imagery of the boom upon which the Lyra high data rate antenna at the aft end of the Zvezda service module resides.
Under your left hand, there is some sort of a ribbon. Yes. There is a ribbon that is holding the MLI together. Well, and it's torn, I think. Well, one end is longer than the other.
It's almost 10. Только под светом фонарей.
We can only see it under the light, when we shine the light on it. Can you take a detailed image of this ribbon, please?
Ребят, у нас через 2,5-3 минуты.
Guys, in about 2.5 or 3 minutes, there's going to be an LOS for about 10 minutes.
Появляться будет связь, но она в целом не
There will be Radicom only, and we're not going to have CSS coverage during that time frame, so there will be an independent time frame, so to speak. And so right now you're going to complete your video recording and start translating back along the handrails. Try to follow the same path, translation path that you used to arrive here. I think when you get to the last handrail, that comb will be available. But when you get to the last handrail, please stand by and wait for my go. Okay, copy all. Okay, we're going to wrap up our video recording. Wrap up the recording using Glisser. That will. Well, we're not going to take the video of the rest of the parts at the edge. What you have not taken a video of. So along plane 4 until number 1, until plane 1, and finish up with the video recording. Also add it to the recording objects. Okay, we'll try. Speaking simultaneously. So we're going. We're ahead of the timeline. So we're going to. If we don't spend too much time on that end, then we should be fine. Okay, sounds good. Should we wait for the insulated part of the orbit to take a video? Well, we're not going to be able to clean the window if you wait for the insulated part of the orbit. And we're actually, any second now, we're going to end up without any calm. Okay, I understand. Okay, we're going to take a video as we go. As you're translating along the path, walking by, do additional video recording. Don't spend too much time on it. Use GoPro. It should be sufficient. The video isn't too bad, so that should be there should be enough lighting for that. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so start translating. Okay, copy. I'm also going to take another video on top of the high gain antenna, Ona. And then you go ahead and start translating and I will follow. Okay, sounds good.
The instructions from Russian flight controllers to Prokopiev and Petelin as they wrap up the documentation of the antenna boom upon which the Lyra high gain transmission and telemetry antenna resides at the aft end of the Zvezda service module. That documentation has now been completed, and the two cosmonauts will start to make their way back from the aft end of the service module toward the forward end of the service module in the Russian segment of the space station, carrying the materials science cassette container and the impact experiment sample container back to the Poisk airlock with them. We're 4 hours, 13 minutes into today's spacewalk. Everything has gone ahead of the timeline, with all of the objectives so far having been accomplished.
There's right now this particular ribbon is broken. It used to cinch up the MLI. So right now we stopped the high gain antenna rotation. So you need to go and start translating away from that location. Okay, copy, and we're going to take video as we go along the translation path. Thank you, copy. Dmitry, are you going to start translating above, or are you going to be translating along my handrails? Yes, I'm going to translate over here on top.
During the course of today's spacewalk, the two cosmonauts jettisoned a decade-old seismic detection experiment called Seismoprognos, as well as two stanchions that held telemetry equipment. One more jettison is planned, that of several towels that could occur within the next few minutes That will wrap up all of the jettison work during the course of this spacewalk. The 266th in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades, and the 9th spacewalk conducted out of the International Space Station this year. And we've gone into a handover between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system for about 8 to 9 minutes or so. Just to recap, 4 hours, 18 minutes into the spacewalk, Sergei Prokopyev and Dmitry Petelin have been able to remove a number of scientific investigations bolted to the hull and handrails of the Zvezda service module, as well as the installation of high data rate transmission hardware for future use. With all of the activities associated with this spacewalk having gone well so far, the two cosmonauts are making their way back from the aft end of the service module, where they took engineering photography and high digital imagery of the boom upon which the Lyra high data rate antenna is mounted at the very aft end of the service module, as well as photography of plume detectors for the thrusters on the aft end of the service module that provide propulsive capability for the International Space Station. Again, we're in a period of loss of communications from the International Space Station. We'll reacquire communications and a downlink TV capability just a few minutes from now. As today's spacewalk continues, Sergei Prokopyev and Dmitry Petelin making their way back from the aft end of the Zvezda service module to the forward end of the service module to take up the remaining activities for today's excursion, which will be the stowage of experiments in containers that will be brought back inside the International Space Station, and one final task, the removal of a biological sample container for an experiment called BioRisk that is located near the hatch to the Poisk module airlock. And as we approach the 4.5-hour mark in today's spacewalk, we're standing by for the reacquisition of signal on our tracking and data relay satellite system, continuing our coverage of Russian spacewalk 59, the 266th spacewalk in support of space station assembly maintenance and upgrades.
Дмитрий, как меня слышно?
Dmitry, how do you hear me? We read you loud and clear.
Все, перерыв связи закончился.
The LOS is over. How are you doing? What stage are you at? We are on different handrails.
F-образных поручнях подходит. Понял. Дима, ты?
I think we're on the circular handrails. I am near УКП, крылок bag.
Принято.
Copy.
Принято. Ну, мы идем с небольшим опережением.
Well, we're a little bit ahead of the timeline.
Приступать будем к очистке иллюминатора.
Okay, let's start cleaning the window. So accordingly, what you need to do, you need to
small на свой приспособление.
You need to secure small latch and take it on your
На поручнях